PC situation is so fucked up right now. DRAM prices are out of control, sending the prices sky high for consoles, RAM, storage, and a ton of other products. How the hell am I supposed to make videos about building computers for a fair price if the prices are not fair? Well, I wanted to use this video as an opportunity to talk about some ways to get around these crazy high prices, or at least how to weather the storm a little more comfortably. So for this video, we are going big. The budget is $1,000 US, but we are going to build an awesome 1440p and 4K machine, and it's going to be easy on the eyes. Everything in this video will be purchased in the US using US dollars. Shout out to bros from the Philippines, but prices are 100% going to be different in your region. I'll also be utilizing limited sales and rare finds. So don't use this video as a one-to-one guide, but as a jumping off point for your next gaming machine. And at the very least, maybe you'll learn some new ways to navigate this post-tariff DRAM shortage world we live in now. For our build, let's start off with the case, since the form factor is really going to matter here. For my extremely budget builds, I usually just pick up whatever $40 case goes on sale, and it's almost always just fine. But I feel like when you're at a budget this high, you should splurge a little extra on a case that is maybe a little higher quality, or looks unique, or is just special. Today I'm using the Flowtron F1 from Darkflash. Now, full disclosure, Darkflash did send this to me free of charge, but I am going to add the current sale price to our running budget. I thought this was going to be just some kind of a gimmick case, and it kind of is, but I actually liked it a lot because it was just so different and checked all the boxes. It has this pedestal style floating design, which is unlike any other case out there, but it still has some great build quality. 3 RGB fans pre-installed, plenty of space for cable management, and a special perforated design for optimal airflow. It fits motherboards up to MATX in size, but still has room for 3 fan AIOs and even huge graphics cards if that's your thing. Every panel can be removed for easy building, and it all uses latches so you don't have to worry about thumb screws. I've got the white version here, so I guess we're gonna go for a zebra black and white build thing. Now, if you wanna save money, you can clearly just buy a cheaper case, but I think it's worth it to splurge a little on something interesting. Moving on, power supplies have been steadily increasing in price the last few years, but there are still a lot of good PSUs out there that have stayed pretty steady in their price. Just like the 650 watt gold rated one from Segotep. 650 watts is enough power for 95% of graphics cards out there, so we should be good on that. The cables are all black, so no ketchup and mustard here, and they are in this flat design so they can easily hide out in the back of a chassis in case you don't have a lot of clearance. Downsides? Well, it's not modular at all, so you'll just have to jam all these extra cables down below, and it also isn't ATX3 compliant, meaning it lacks the 12 volt high power cable. So if you're using a newer graphics card, you'll just have to use the provided adapter. For $55 brand new on Amazon, I think this power supply is awesome for just about any build out there. Now, continuing on our journey of avoiding the important components in the build, let's talk about the CPU cooler. Usually, I'll buy a cheap 4-pipe air cooler from Amazon for 10 to 20 bucks, and that would be fine here, really. But there are some really great ones that just give you extra peace of mind with dual fans, extra heatsink surface area, and overall better build quality. I'm personally a big fan of the Thermaltake Peerless Assassin, as it's just a whole lot of cooler for only $35, and it's gonna last you a lifetime. But if you're not into the air cooler aesthetic, you can always go for an AIO. There's more points of failure, but they do look very sexy. There are some cheap ones that are on Amazon for around the same price as the Peerless Assassin, but I picked up one from Amazon when it was on sale for only 30 bucks. This is the Cooler Master 360 Elite, a 3-fan AIO that, when paired with the big ass radiator, is gonna cool our CPU nicely, and it looks pretty rad in our case. It comes with 3 RGB 120mm fans pre-installed and a translucent hexagon cap to give a nice glow to the middle of our build. Don't feel compelled to go water cooling. I just wanted to pick one up since I feel like they don't get enough credit on this channel. This one looks pretty cool, so I'm excited to see how it performs in the benchmarks. Oh, and the fans don't match the ones that come on our case, but it gives a cool two-tone look that I kind of like. Okay, enough avoiding it. Let's talk about RAM. If you've been living under a rock, you should know there is a current DRAM shortage going on right now, which, to put it simply, means the price of anything using DRAM has skyrocketed, particularly in DDR4 and DDR5 memory. For example, I bought a 32 gig pack of DDR5 RAM just 2 months ago for $95 US. When looking up similarly spec'd memory today, it has them sitting at 3, 4, or even 5 times the cost. It is absolutely mental. Now in this scenario, you have a couple of options and I'm gonna weigh them out for you. The first option is to just buy them. You search online for a retailer selling them at the least amount of inflated cost and you pull the trigger. Yes, it sucks to have to pay so much for a component that cost way less not too long ago, but if you wanna build a PC now and you want the least amount of resistance, this is really the way to go. I don't really recommend doing this, but I wanted to get out there anyway. The next option is to just wait. Just like the GPU shortages during COVID, the prices will come down over time, I think. You could wait it out and see what prices are like in the future. But remember, the GPU shortage lasted over 2 years, and that was before the big AI boom. So we really don't know if or when these prices will come down, especially since manufacturers have ramped down production of DRAM or even left the consumer space entirely. If you decide to wait, it very well could be years before we see DRAM prices stabilize, and the future is never guaranteed. There's a chance that these new prices are just the price going forward for the foreseeable future. So you could be waiting for a price drop that's never going to happen. Another option is to buy used. There are plenty of people who are deciding to throw their RAM up for sale on sites like eBay or Facebook Marketplace, and while yes, they are still inflated just like the retail prices, you can possibly find something that's at least a little bit cheaper. I saw people on r/hardware swap selling their 32 kits of DDR5 RAM for around $175 to $200, which is higher of course, but it's nearly half the price Amazon is asking. You can also just buy a pre-built and not build your own PC. It seems like the system integrators are still working with old stock of RAM to push out their pre-built gaming machines, and their prices haven't really seen a major increase in price yet, making them a pretty good value compared to buying the parts individually. Now there's obviously pros and cons of buying a pre-built, but it is an option you can choose. And I guess you could buy some SODIMM laptop RAM used if you're lucky and use some adapters to get it running on your desktop, but it's super janky and I don't really like that option for long-term usage. But the option we are going with is to utilize a combo deal from a retailer like Newegg or Micro Center. These guys are still selling their RAM kits for substantially more than they should be. But I ultimately decided to go with one of their combo deals that comes with a motherboard, processor, and RAM for a discounted price. But it does have its drawbacks as well. The cheapest of the combo deals only come with 16 gigs of RAM, which is enough for gaming for sure, but a PC at this budget should really have 32. So this is going to be a buy 16 gigs for now, and when things stabilize, you can upgrade. But the worst part is that the RAM is just a single stick. Micro Center. What year is it? Now, having a single stick of RAM on DDR5 is not nearly as bad as it was on DDR4, but you are still leaving a significant amount of performance on the table by using only one stick. Because of the way DDR5 is architectured, a single stick is technically running in its own internal dual channel mode, but it only provides half the total bandwidth that the CPU expects for a standard dual channel configuration. So on average, we can expect 5 to 15% drops in performance depending on the workload. But again, this is just one option. This option is get something cheap now and upgrade later when things get better. The cheapest Micro Center bundle I got comes with a Ryzen 5 7600X, which is one of the best bang for your buck CPUs available in 2026. It serves as an entry point into AMD's AM5 platform, which means it uses DDR5 RAM and PCIe 5.0. So this CPU is ready for years of upgrades to come. 6 cores, 12 threads, built on the Zen 4 architecture with boost clocks of up to 5.3 gigahertz. And with 32 megs of L3 cache, we are going to be doing amazing in any CPU bottleneck games. And like I said earlier, the RAM is only one stick, 16 gigs of DDR5, but it is clocked at 6,000 megatransfers per second. It's from G-Skill, which is a reputable source of memory, so at least it's not some, no-name brand. We're gonna make this work, trust me. Now the motherboard that the combo is supposed to come with is this Asus B650E Max Gaming, but the case I've already chosen is Micro ATX. So I asked the employee at Micro Center when picking it up if I could switch to another motherboard. They had to ask their manager, and the manager said, "How about this one?" And I said, "Okay." So if you're doing one of these combos, try your luck and ask for something else. The worst they can do is say no. But the motherboard I received is the MSI Pro B650MP, which is a pretty good motherboard, although it's a little worse than the one that originally came with the bundle. It's got everything we need in terms of feature set. It even has 2.5 gig networking built in, but it is only PCIe 4. And we won't really see any downsides to that now, but there could be a time in the distant future where we would want it to be PCIe 5, but that's okay. It's going to handle all the components really well, and I trust MSI to not explode on day 1, or 2, or 3. or 4. Or if the DRAM prices usually extends to storage too, since SSDs are basically just chips on a stick. Asking for a high quality 1TB drive from a top tier brand in this market is like asking for a winning lottery ticket. But somehow, the Amazon algorithms blessed me. For storage, we are slotting in the 1TB Samsung 990 EVO Plus. I managed to snag this thing for $60 flat on Amazon. That is honestly kind of a steal right now. This drive is a beast for the price. It's got those Gen 5 hybrid speeds, and even though I'm running it on Gen 4, it's still blazing fast. And Samsung's reliability is generally top tier, so I'm not worried about my OS corrupting itself into oblivion in a month. Is it the absolute fastest drive on the planet? No. But for gaming, you are literally never going to notice the difference between this and a drive that costs twice as much. Windows is going to boot in 4 seconds. Your games are going to load instantly. And we kept the budget intact. So I'll take that dub any day of the week. Now it's unlikely this drive will go on sale again in the near future, so just pick a PCIe 4 NVMe SSD from a reputable brand that fits in your budget, and if it has a DRAM cache, even better. We've got a pretty big budget for our graphics card now, so we can find something really, really powerful. As always, I recommend checking your local used marketplace to find a sweetheart deal from someone who upgraded a little too soon, and apart from that, you can just keep an eye on r/buildapc sales to find any discounts on brand new cards. I was able to find a happy medium between these two options when I picked up this NVIDIA RTX 5070. This card can easily be found brand new for $500 lately, but I found it on Amazon resale for $409, which was an amazing find. So keep an eye on Amazon resale for your favorite cards because this thing was basically brand new. The RTX 5070 is our gateway into the new Blackwell architecture, which means we're getting way more than just raw power. We get the latest DLSS features, way better ray tracing efficiency, and finally, GDDR7 memory. There are some sacrifices though. NVIDIA is still being stingy with the VRAM, giving us only 12 gigabytes, which in 2026 is starting to feel a little cramped for ultra textures and unoptimized titles. But honestly, for around $400, I'm not complaining. It fits the aesthetic. It fits the budget, and it's going to rip through any game we throw at it. Now that we've got all our components together, let's assemble this bad boy, do some quick benchmarks, then back here for the final price breakdown and some alternatives you could make. Here is the final cost breakdown for this machine, and in this RAM hell we're living in, I think this is pretty good price to performance. The machine looks absolutely gorgeous and very unique, as well as performs surprisingly well. If you're able to find a really good deal on 2 sticks of RAM instead of 1, you can expect significant performance gains even in the double digits depending on the game. If you can't find a 5070 for the right price, I've seen the 5060 Ti 16GB go on sale for a really good price several times this past month, so you can keep an eye out for that. I'll have everything in this video listed in the description below, as well as some alternatives in case anything goes out of stock. If this video brought value to you, please consider becoming a member of the channel by hitting the join button below, or at least hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so if you could help me hit that goal, I would really appreciate it. Now, if $1,000 is a little outside of your budget, check out the videos on screen now that have PCs at a much lower price point. My name's Jason. Thanks for watching.